Here's a wild idea. You don't need a massive backyard to grow your own food. You don't even need a garden. Honestly, all you need are 12 pots. Today we're ranking the 12 best container vegetables, starting with the easiest possible win for total beginners and building all the way up to the one plant that's going to seriously test your skills. Welcome back to New Earth Harvest, where growing your own food is never complicated, just one small container at a time. Let's get into it. Number 1, and this is the easiest plant on the entire list, the radish. Some varieties are ready to harvest in as little as 18 days. 18 days, and they're totally happy in a container as small as half a gallon, just 6 inches deep. But here's the one mistake that ruins almost every first attempt: leaving the seedlings crowded. Don't do it. If you don't thin them out, the roots fight each other underground, and instead of crisp radishes, you get thin, stringy, disappointing ones. Grab a pair of scissors and snip the extras, leaving 2 to 3 inches between each plant. Want a steady supply instead of one big harvest all at once? Sow a new batch every 7 to 10 days. Do that, and one 12-inch pot will hand you about a dozen crisp radishes. Proof that abundance really can start this simple. Number 2, leaf lettuce. Its roots stay incredibly shallow, so it's perfectly happy in a half-gallon container just 6 to 8 inches deep. Here's the mistake that trips up beginners every single time: letting the soil dry out completely. That stress signals the plant to bolt. It rushes to flower and go to seed, and suddenly your leaves taste bitter. So keep that soil evenly moist, never bone dry, and instead of harvesting the whole plant at once, use the cut-and-come-again method. Snip just the outer leaves, leave that center growing point alone, and it will keep producing fresh salad for weeks. One single plant can give you up to a pound of greens over its lifetime. That's a whole salad bowl from one small pot. Number 3, green onions or scallions. These grow straight up, so they barely take up any floor space at all. Pack them just 2 to 3 inches apart in a container 6 inches deep. Here's the key. Because their roots are so shallow, that top layer of soil needs to stay consistently damp while the seedlings get established, or they'll dry out fast. And here's a fun shortcut. You can regrow these straight from your kitchen scraps. Leave about 2 centimeters of the white root base, sit it in a small glass of water until new growth appears, then move it to soil. One 12-inch pot can produce around 60 stalks. 60. Simple food, literally grown from your own kitchen scraps. Number 4, Swiss Chard. And this one has a strange little secret. Each chard seed isn't actually one seed at all. It's a cluster of 2 to 4 seeds fused together. So if you don't thin the seedlings once they hit an inch or two tall, you'll end up with a crowded, stunted mess. Give it an 8-inch deep container, 4 to 6 inches between plants, and add a light layer of mulch to stop soil from splashing onto the leaves when you water. Get this right, and one single chard plant can produce 8 to 12 pounds of leaves in a single season, making it one of the highest yielding plants on this entire list. Number 5, spinach. It grows incredibly fast in a shallow 1-gallon container, needing just 4 to 6 inches of depth. Here's the mistake that ends everything early: cutting the entire plant off at its base. Spinach grows from a central hub, so that one cut kills the whole plant. Instead, only take the outer leaves and never remove more than a third of the plant at a time. Want the secret to getting stubborn spinach seeds to actually sprout? Cover the container with a plate or a piece of cardboard right after planting to keep it pitch black and moist, then pull it off the moment you spot the first tiny leaves. In 30 to 50 days, you'll have 2 to 4 ounces of fresh greens per plant. Ready the second a recipe calls for it. Number 6, kale. And this is where our containers start getting bigger. You'll want 3 to 5 gallons of soil, at least 8 inches deep, with 10 to 15 inches between plants for proper airflow. Watch out for cabbage worms, small green caterpillars that blend in perfectly and hide on the underside of the leaves. Here's the easiest fix in the world: grow a purple variety. Those bright green worms have nowhere to hide against dark purple leaves, so you'll spot them in seconds during a quick weekly check. One kale plant will keep producing 1 to 2 pounds of leaves for 16 to 26 weeks straight, and the flavor actually gets sweeter after the first light frost hits it. Number 7. Bush beans. Unlike pole beans, these are completely self-supporting, so there's no complicated trellis to build, just a 2-gallon pot, 8 to 10 inches deep. The most common mistake? Planting too early into cold, damp soil, which rots the seeds before they even get a chance to sprout. Wait until daytime temperatures are consistently hitting 70 degrees. Once the plant is up and running, harvest the beans every 2 to 3 days. That constant picking tells the plant to keep flowering instead of shutting down for the season. Stagger your plantings every couple of weeks and you'll have a steady, ongoing harvest of half a pound of beans per plant. Number 8. Dwarf carrots, specifically the round varieties, not the long ones. Because they're round instead of long, they don't need deep soil, just a 2-gallon pot about 8 inches deep. Here's the mistake that ruins most container carrots: starting the seeds indoors and transplanting them later. That delicate taproot shatters during the move, and you end up with weird, forked, twisted carrots. Always sow carrot seeds directly into their final pot. And here's a trick almost nobody knows: water the soil before you sow, not after. The seeds are so tiny that watering afterward just washes them into tight, tangled clumps. In 55 to 70 days, one 12-inch pot can give you 12 to 14 sweet little roots. Number 9. Bush cucumbers. These varieties were bred specifically for small spaces, staying confined to just 2 or 3 feet of vine. No massive sprawling vines taking over your patio. Give them a 5-gallon pot, 10 inches deep, 1 plant per container. The mistake to avoid: letting the fruit sit on the vine too long. An overripe cucumber tells the entire plant to stop producing new flowers. Pick daily once they start coming in. A small trellis or tomato cage helps enormously, training the vine upward, improving airflow, and drastically cutting down on powdery mildew. Keep up with the harvest, and one plant will give you 3 to 5 pounds of cucumbers, roughly 10 to 15 of them. Number 10. Dwarf cherry tomatoes. These stay beautifully compact, topping out at 8 to 18 inches tall, perfect for a 2 to 3 gallon pot. Here's a mistake that trips up anyone who's grown regular, full-size tomatoes before: pruning off the side shoots or suckers. Don't do it. Unlike standard tomato plants, these dwarf varieties set fruit on every single branch tip, so pruning them literally cuts your harvest in half. Always use a light-colored pot instead of a dark one. Dark plastic overheats the roots in full sun. Once flowers appear, feed it a low-nitrogen, high-potassium fertilizer every week or 2. Do that, and one small plant can hand you 1 to 4 pounds of sweet cherry tomatoes. Number 11. Dwarf sweet peppers. These want a bit more room to breathe, ideally a 5-gallon pot, 10 to 12 inches deep. The number 1 mistake here: inconsistent watering. Let the soil swing wildly from bone-dry to soaking wet, and the plant drops its flowers and develops blossom end rot on the fruit. Let only the top inch of soil dry out before watering again, every single time. And here's a tip that sounds completely backwards but works wonders: pinch off the very first flower buds the plant produces. It feels like you're wasting a harvest, but it forces the plant to build a massive, strong root system first, which roughly doubles your pepper yield later in the season. 6 to 8 large sweet peppers per plant. Well worth the wait. And number 12, our final, most advanced plant, the Patio Eggplant. This one needs the biggest pot on the entire list: 5 gallons, 12 to 16 inches deep, 1 plant per container. The mistake almost everyone makes with eggplants: harvesting too late. The moment the skin loses its shine and turns dull, the inside turns bitter and full of hard seeds. Pick it the instant it's glossy and firm, and if you're growing on a high balcony where bees rarely visit, you'll need to hand-pollinate the flowers yourself. Take a small, soft brush and gently swirl it inside each flower to move the pollen around. It makes all the difference for fruit set. It takes patience, 75 to 100 days, but a successful harvest rewards you with almost 3 to 7 pounds of glossy purple fruit. And if you made it here, congratulations. You've officially graduated from a container gardening beginner to a master. So there you have it. 12 incredible vegetables, ranked from your easiest weekend win all the way to your biggest gardening challenge, all grown in nothing but simple containers. Which one are you starting with this season? Let me know down in the comments. And if this video gave you some ideas, hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot more growing ahead of us. This is New Earth Harvest, and I'll see you in the next one.